नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेव्या भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 26, King Puranjan goes to the forest to hunt and his queen becomes angry. Text number 8 onwards. Anyatha karma kurvano mana rudo nibadyate guna pravaha patito nashta pragyo vrajati yadha. Otherwise, a person who acts whimsically falls down due to false prestige. Thus, he becomes involved in the laws of nature, which are composed of three qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. In this way, a living entity becomes devoid of his real intelligence and becomes perpetually lost in the cycle of birth and death. Thus, he goes up and down from a microbe in stool to a high position in the Brahmaloka planet. So, in the previous verse, Narad Muni said to King Prachin Parashat, "My dear king, any person who works according to the directions of the Vedic scriptures does not become involved in fruitive activities." So that was if he follows the intelligence or the queen. Now, otherwise, a person who acts whimsically, means without the use of intelligence, he falls down. There are many important words in this verse. The first is anyatha, otherwise, which indicates one who does not care for the Vedic rules and regulations. The rules and regulations laid down in the Vedas are called Shastra Vidhi. Bhagavad Gita clearly states that one who does not accept the Shastra Vidhi or the rules and regulations mentioned in the Vedic scriptures and acts whimsically or puffed up with false pride never attains perfection in this life, nor does he attain happiness or liberation from the material condition. So, yes, Shastra Vidhyam Utsrajya. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So that is why the Shastras are there, the Vedic scriptures, Vedic principles are there for us to live happily in this lifetime and to make progress spiritually as well as. So next life, at least if we don't go back home, back to Godhead, at least we take a better birth. Thus, one who is deliberately transgressing the rules and regulations of the Shastras is simply involving himself more and more in material existence in the three modes of material nature. Human society should therefore follow the Vedic principles of life, which are summarized in Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, life and material existence will continue. Foolish persons do not know that the soul is passing through 8,400,000 species of life. By the gradual process of evolution, when one comes to the human form of life, he is supposed to follow the rules and regulations laid down in the Vedas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the living entity, since time immemorial, is suffering the threefold miseries of material nature due to his demoniac attitude, which is a spirit of revolt against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So because of our revolting nature, we've been suffering. We've been taking births in different species of life, in one planet or the different other planet. But finally, now we have come to the human form of life. We should understand, even in this human form of life, how many people we think of following the Vedic rules and regulations and living their life accordingly? Hardly any. But this is what we are supposed to do. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Every living entity is part and parcel of God. There is no reason for the living entities being put into the miserable threefold condition of material existence, but that he voluntarily accepts material existence on the false pretext of becoming an enjoyer. To save him from this horrible condition, the Lord has given all the Vedic literatures in his incarnation of Vyasadeva. It is therefore said, Krishna bhuli se jivanadi bahiramukh, ateva maya tare deya sansara dukh. By forgetting Krishna, the living entity has become materialistic since time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy of Krishna is giving him different types of miseries in material existence. So we have forgotten Krishna and become Bahirmukh. Bahirmukh means we are only worried about or concerned with the bodily happiness or pleasure or the comforts. Nothing to do with the soul. And since we do that, Maya tare de sansar dukh. Maya, the material or illusory energy of Krishna, is there to give us miseries. Plenty of miseries. That is why Durga Devi, that's why she has 10 hands and there are weapons in every hand. She is the personification of material energy. She has weapons in every hand. She doesn't have lotus flower or some other comforting things in hands. So her job is to give us miseries. Us means the demons. Demons means who are against Krishna. Asuras, so she killed some asuras. I don't know all the names, but in previous, like in Satya Yuga, the asuras would live on different planets. In Treta Yuga, on the same planet but on different countries. In Dwapar Yuga, same planet, same country, maybe in different houses. But in Kali Yuga, asuras and divine people, divine personalities, they live in the same body. And this is what Durga Devi is there to give us miseries, punish us till we learn our lesson. Maya mugdha jiver nahi swatah Krishna gyan, jivera kripai kaila Krishna Veda Puran. When a living entity is enchanted by the external energy, he cannot revive his original Krishna consciousness independently. So when a living entity is enchanted by the external energy, and same external energy is there, we think we are enjoying, and she's there to punish us. And it's clearly depicted in pictures of Durga Devi, in the deity forms of Durga Devi. And we all go pray to Jai Mata Di, Jai Mata Di. But if now let's analyze that Jai Mata Di also, which is good. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with worshipping Durga Ji. So people go, they take such an arduous journey to go to Vaishno Devi, and then early days, I know we used to walk all the way up. I don't know how many kilometers it is, and going up, it's not even flat. Nowadays, I hear we got horses and we got other kinds of rides we can go. So taking all these problems, we go take darshan of Mata Rani, Vaishno Devi. And then what do we ask? Because people who go for that darshan, they're mostly in the mode of passion and ignorance. So all they ask is some material benefits. And what are those material benefits? Either money or power or prestige, knowledge, beauty, concerned with these things only. And what do these things do? In the end, they increase our miseries in the material. They don't decrease our miseries, they increase. So we're doing all these austerities, we are there to worship Vaishno Devi, and then in return, we are asking, oh Mother, please increase my miseries, my material miseries. Please increase my duration of life in this material world. And give me some material facilities so that I can suffer more. Of course, we don't ask for suffering, but that comes as part of that. So what's the point? Rather, if somebody has intelligence, if he asks, oh Mother, give me bhakti towards Krishna. Give me a chance to serve Radha and Krishna. That will be decreasing the material miseries, and she'll be more than happy to grant that. But then again, if we want bhakti, why go to Vaishno Devi? Why not go to Govardhan or Vrindavan? But this is what the material energy is there for. Maya, ataiv Maya tare deya sansar dukh. So Maya or illusory energy of Krishna is giving different types of miseries in material existence. And we think she is giving us material opulence. That is ignorance. That is illusion. The word Manaruda is also very significant in this verse. Under the pretext of becoming great philosophers and scientists, men throughout the whole world are working on the mental platform. Such men are generally non-devotees due to not caring for the instructions given by the Lord to the first living creature, Lord Brahma. A person who is a non-devotee has no good qualification because he acts on the mental platform. One who acts on the mental platform has to change his standard of knowledge periodically. We consequently see that one philosopher may disagree with another philosopher, and one scientist may put forward a theory contradicting the theory of another scientist. All of this is due to their working on the mental platform without a standard of knowledge. In the Vedic instructions, however, the standard of knowledge is accepted, even though it may sometimes appear that the statements are contradictory. Because the Vedas are the standard of knowledge, even though they may appear contradictory, they should be accepted. If one does not accept them, he will be bound by the material conditions. So one on the mental platform, if he is working on the mental platform, it doesn't take him. And that's why the shloka says, Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. So Manorathen, so he's the living entity, is just riding on the chariot of man, driven by mind. And mind, just like other 10 senses, if it is not controlled by the intelligence of the scriptures, intelligence we attain from scriptures, then it's just going to go here and there. No control at all. And this is what King Puranjan did. He did not take intelligence with him when he went for sense gratification. And that's where the intelligence got angry. The material conditions are described in this verse as guna pravaha, the flowing of the three modes of material nature. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur therefore says in a song, Miche mayara vashe yach bheshe khacha habu dubu bhai. Why are you suffering? Why are you sometimes being drowned in the waves of material nature and sometimes coming onto the surface? Jiva Krishna Das Vishwas, Karle to aur dukh nai. Please therefore accept yourself as a servant of Krishna. Then you will be freed from all miseries. As soon as one surrenders to Krishna and accepts the perfect standard of knowledge, which is Bhagavad Gita as it is, he then comes out of the material modes of nature and does not fall down and lose his knowledge. So that is why knowledge, intelligence, all these things are important. Nashta Pragya, the word Pragya means perfect knowledge. Nashta Pragya means one who has no perfect knowledge. One who does not have perfect knowledge has only mental speculation. By such mental speculation, one falls down and down into a hellish condition of life. By transgressing the laws laid down in the Shastras, one cannot become pure in the heart. When one's heart is not purified, one acts according to the three material modes of nature. These activities are very nicely explained in words 1 through 6 of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita further explains the Vedas mainly deal with the subject of three modes of material nature. Rise above these three modes. O Arjuna, be transcendental to all of them. So one can only attain that platform with the knowledge. Knowledge comes from intelligence. And materialistic persons, what do? Prahlad Maharaj said, materialistic persons who are too much engaged in material enjoyment and who do not know anything beyond their material experiences are carried by the whims of material nature. They live a life characterized by chewing the chewed, and they're controlled by their uncontrolled senses. Thus, they go down to the darkest regions of hellish life. So this is the condition. This is a situation of a person who does not listen to intelligence and who doesn't have any sharp intelligence. Sharp intelligence comes from the proper association of people and association of books. Not just people, spiritually advanced people, and the books. But if that is not there, then one just follows the mind. And mind is not in control, then mind will always take the person in the wrong direction. Mind will always take one. Let's enjoy this, let's enjoy that. This sense gratification, that sense gratification. तत्र निर्भिन्न गात्राणाम चित्रवाजः शिलीमुखः विप्लवो अभूद दुःखितानाम दुस्सह karunaatmanam. When King Puranjan was hunting this way, many animals within the forest lost their lives with great pain, being pierced by the sharp arrowheads. Upon seeing this devastating, ghastly activities performed by the king, all the people who were merciful by nature became very unhappy. Such merciful persons could not tolerate seeing all this killing. So again, there are two meanings of this. One is literal and one is allegorical. Let's see what Prabhupada says. When demoniac persons engage in animal killing, the demigods or devotees of the Lord are very much afflicted by this killing. Demoniac civilizations in this modern age maintain various types of slaughterhouses all over the world. Rascal swamis and yogis encourage foolish persons to go on eating flesh and killing animals and at the same time continue their so-called meditation and mystical practices. All these affairs are ghastly, and a compassionate person, namely a devotee of the Lord, becomes very unhappy to see such a sight. The hunting process is also carried on in a different way, as we have already explained. Hunting women, drinking various types of liquor, becoming intoxicated, killing animals, and enjoying sex all serve as a basis of modern civilization. Vaishnavas are unhappy to see such a situation in the world, and therefore they are very busy spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. So the king was killing animals, and the saintly people were very unhappy to see all this. Unhappy for both, for the animals that were being killed and for the king, because they know he is going to go to hell for doing all this. So this is the nature of saintly persons. They are compassionate by nature, and they cannot see anybody suffering, whether animals were suffering now or whether the king will suffer later. The devotees are pained to see the hunting and killing of animals in the forest, the wholesale slaughter of animals in the slaughterhouses, and the exploitation of young girls in the brothels and that function under different names as clubs and societies. Being very much compassionate upon the killing of animals in sacrifice, the great sage Narad began his instructions to King Prachin Parishad. In these instructions, Narad Muni explained that devotees like him are very much afflicted by all the killing that goes on in human society. Not only are saintly persons afflicted by this killing, but even God himself is afflicted and therefore comes down in the incarnation of Lord Buddha. Jayadev Goswami therefore sings, Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashughatam. Simply to stop the killing of animals, Lord Buddha compassionately appeared. Some rascals put forward the theory that an animal has no soul or is something like dead stone. In this way, they rationalize that there is no sin in animal killing. Actually, animals are not dead stone, but the killers of animals are stone hearted. Consequently, no reason or philosophy appeals to them. They continue keeping slaughterhouses and killing animals in the forest. The conclusion is that one who does not care for the instructions of saintly persons like Narad and his disciplic succession surely falls into the category of Nashta Pragya and thus goes to hell. So yes, the devotees are very much pained, and this is the reason they want to save all these souls. They want to save the animals from getting killed, and they want to save people who are committing so much of sins by killing and eating animals. It is very, very simple. Now, looking at the allegorical meaning of this, the King Puranjan or soul is hunting animals or going after sense gratification. So a saintly person, when he sees a soul wasting his time, his energy, his precious human form of life in just going after sense gratification, their compassion grows, and naturally they want to save that soul. They want to save. Why in this human form of life, which is so rare, so precious, you're wasting your time? And in fact, if you look at, people are wasting their time in discussing politics, sports, market, opposite sex. These basically these are the four major time wasting activities people do. And they feel so good about it. Every morning when we go to office, or whenever we used to go, thanks to Corona, we cannot go to the office. So when we used to go in the morning, you go to the kitchen or the coffee break area, people are sipping coffee, and in the morning they're discussing either the sports, what happened last night, and here they're very much fond of football or basketball or baseball, what happened in those games and who did what, and at least half an hour, 45 minutes, this is what they're talking. And in India, I know mostly people talk about politics. What's the point? What's the use? And to talk about all this, we have to spend so much of time watching TV or news or on the internet. We have to spend time reading about it and taking interest in either sports or politics or movies or ultimately it's all wastage of time. But people, since they don't know what's the right use of the time, the right use of the energy, they have to spend time somewhere. So this is what goes on. And a saintly person, he's very much afflicted by seeing people wasting their time. Of course, in some settings, we cannot just openly criticize others, either their co-workers or our bosses or whoever, but by our dealing with them, very nice, compassionate dealings, slowly, they get attracted towards what we are doing, what we are trying to say or trying to do. And in fact, this is how Radha Prabhu in Soprasteria, he has made such a huge group of devotees working tirelessly over all these years, preaching to them, giving them prasadam, giving them books, giving them association, counseling them. And the wonderful group he has created. So this is how we have to show compassion. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hari Bol for Radha Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Radha Prabhuji, you're doing a wonderful job.
Yes,
Oh,
Mataji.
yeah. So many years.
Yes,
Yes.
no doubt about it.
All the is to see Vidyapriya Prabhu.
No, come on.
Perfection only we are able to do everything.
Prabhuji, you both
No,
are
no,
very
no.
important to us. Very, very
Just one
important.
devotee like him, he will change the whole world.
Come on, Prabhu. I cannot even change myself.
It is your love, Prabhu. Otherwise, we would not have witnessed what is devotional service only. We would have been so officially doing devotional service.
That's true, Prabhuji.
You never even instructed me once what to do. No, we just did whatever you did. You were sitting in the temple, you came from America and you came and sat in the temple and attracted lost like me and taught us what is preach actually by your behavior. You never
And I came
learned,
back,
that you have to preach. You just
and I came back to Maya again.
and you made it so enjoyable, home so much fun. We are missing all that now.
Well, thanks to you, I'm getting all the inspiration and motivation.
All these online devotees, they don't have any experience of book distribution. Only if you come to Lajpat Nagar, in a notable, we can see all that. So many of
Yeah,
them.
that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, Hanuman Temple. So many places we did. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful and safe Govardhan Puja. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Same to you,
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.